Hello, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together, we are Twinfinity.
We are twin flames in union, sharing our journey through a series of videos. This is now video number 12, and it is called, I forget what it's called already. The Magnetic Pull. I'm a little distracted because of location.
Yes.
And Rob's going to tell us all about location.
We're at a place called Hogarth Lakes. It's kind of a trail that goes past a chain of lakes. We've got a mountain behind us, but it started to snow about an hour into our adventure here, so we can't really see it very well. It may show up as time goes on. Look in the other direction, the direction away from us. There's another lake out here, and at the far end of that lake, and plus a little bit, is way back where we started from. We've been about 2 miles, or roughly 3.5 kilometers, getting this far, and we found a neat little hidey spot in the trees where we could hide away from the snow and not get our computer all covered up in snowfall and stuff. Okay, heading into the recap.
Now, before we do the recap, can we tell them what we're actually doing out here? Like, why are we doing a video out here?
Because it's nice outside.
Because we're snowshoeing, silly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're snowshoeing.
We went out snowshoeing today, and Rob, being the trooper that he is, carried his whole backpack full of stuff. I got no backpack. I got nothing. I'm not even carrying my own water. My super Rob husband carries 3 journals, because that's what we have to share from today in our story.
And a clipboard with cheat notes.
Our computer. It's crazy.
We got a blanket that we're kneeling on, that the edge of it's covering the keyboard so everything doesn't get all wet. And we got another big fluffy beach towel that the computer's sitting on top of a log. So, yeah, we've got quite the little set here. Hopefully everything stays dry.
And Rob's carried all of it through our snowshoeing trip. We're kind of at the end of our little snowshoeing hike today. And we've been trying to find a good spot for a video. I can't even talk now because my lips are all cold. You can see
our jaws might freeze a little bit because it's freezing out here. It's not melting today. It was melting yesterday, not today.
The crazy things we do for videos. We're adventurers. What can we say?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we want to do a recap now that I interrupted you?
Okay, sure. We'll do a recap.
Thank you.
Recap from last video. Rob and Angie still seeing each other. Yes, we were.
Even though we were broken up.
Even though we were broke up. You know, the let go thing didn't quite totally let go.
Yeah.
Angie is getting messages from Spirit about her and Rob. That'd be you and me.
Yeah.
Having a mission of love together.
Yeah.
Yay, love.
Ooh, your lips are cold.
I bet my lips are cold. My jaw's frozen.
You're funny.
Anyway, and also, Angie being told that her and Rob would be back together by Valentine's Day and that we would be going on a cruise.
Yes. And this was back in 1998. So I was channeling angels and they were telling me all these things. And as we kind of shared from our last story, none of it happened.
Yeah,
But I lost our...
Oh, there they are. We've got all sorts of props tucked away here. Everything's all piled up.
In little bags because of the snow.
Granola bars.
We wanted to show you... We were sharing in our last video that we didn't... Is that yours or is that mine?
That's mine.
Yours. We didn't go on a cruise Valentine's Day of 1998 when I thought the angels meant, but we did go on a cruise for Valentine's Day in 2016.
Yay, we went on our cruise.
Yeah, so we brought our little prop.
Starts February 14th, ended February 21st, way back in 2016. Didn't even think about the coincidences back then. It wasn't until we got into the journals that we started to give our head a shake and go, wait a minute.
The angels didn't lie. They just didn't tell the time frame that I understood.
They probably used the soon word, but we're not going to go there too much this time.
They did, and I do mention it in my first little bit of reading here. So I'm starting my journal reading from Valentine's Day. I just decided to start it from there to kind of catch us up, even though last video I said I wasn't going to. I thought, it made sense so you understand what happens the day after Valentine's Day.
See, and also during Valentine's Day, Angie's very disappointed back then. Because we weren't on a cruise. I wasn't even contacting her.
No. So I'm writing all day, Valentine's Day back in 1998. I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I'm pins and needles. I wrote 5 times that day, and this one was one of my more evening times. It was 6:30 at night, and I said, okay, my winged friends, this is it now. So here I am. I'm telling the angels off once again. You're right. This is the end. Because if this all doesn't work, I quit. Plain and simple. Goodbye, world. I have worked my ass off in my relationship with Rob. I've trusted you all to amazing degrees. Just know that this is it for me. I have no choice but to commit suicide if this doesn't work. No more all is well. The time is now. Soon.
Soon.
There's the soon. You are there. Blah, blah, blah. Just plain old provide. Got it? So, yeah, this is me giving the angels and God a lecture. Not that they really work by, being yelled at. Not that they are offended by being yelled at, but it's not like it's really going to be effective.
Yeah.
Because my little lecture didn't really work.
But then again, most of us, I'm going to lump all of us together. Most of us have had a time where we're going, please, come on, would you just give me something to work with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah. You get to that rough spot where you're just like, enough. So then I said, every time you say it's over, you're there, something of the opposite happens. I get a notice on my door saying pay rent or you're out. So if you remember from our last video, I didn't even have a job yet. Now I'm struggling financially on top of everything else.
She's out of money.
Yep, I got $400 to my name, not even enough to pay rent. Now, if you can understand, I have always been the goody two-shoes of my family. Growing up in an abusive home, I learned very, very young that as long as I was the good girl, I didn't get hit. Oh, wow, you're snacking like that. Well, look at you. I'm doing all the work. You're just eating away.
I got a granola bar.
What the heck? All right.
I also got hot chocolate down here, too.
No more goody two-shoes, man. I'm diving in. So it was very hard for me, being always the good one of the family, to all of a sudden be like breaking rules. I mean, I didn't want to not pay rent. I mean, it was terrifying having a note on my door saying pay rent or get out. I mean, that was like, I've never lived this kind of life. So I'm explaining to the angels that every time they say something good's going to happen, the opposite happens. So I was saying, I got a notice on my door saying pay rent or you're out. Rob gives me my key back, and Rob says he doesn't want to talk to me. So we're now not speaking. In our last video, even though we'd broken up, we're still kind of connecting, but now we're not.
I'm still trying to do that final pull away.
Yeah. You're trying hard. So now I'm writing later in the day, and I'm going, what have I done? I have no money or the man that I love. I've been left with nothing because I believed in God, because I've stuck to my values. What am I going to do? I miss Rob. I miss the way the things were when we met. God, I need a miracle. How are you ever going to bring Rob back to me today forever? Huh? I don't get it. It seems completely hopeless. I just want the man back that I love in my arms forever. I want so bad to just do my mission, to bring love to the world. Little did we know we'd had a long way to go before we got there. Why do you give me all these visions and images if it's not true? What am I supposed to do? I just don't get it anymore, God. I don't see the purpose. What am I supposed to do? So I'm now not even mad. I've lost all the anger. I'm hopeless.
Despondent seems to be the word.
Yes. So that's the last of Valentine's Day. What ended up happening is the day after Valentine's Day, I didn't really write anything in my journal that day because I was done. I was literally serious when I said to them, I'm committing suicide. I had nothing left to hope for. So I was just like, I'm done. So I wrote out a suicide note, which I'd never done before or after. And I was literally on my way out the door to, I can't even remember, I think it was train that I was planning to do, but I can't remember. That was a long time ago. Wouldn't you know it, guess who decides to phone me just as I'm about to leave to go commit suicide?
Would this be the next day?
Yes.
The next day. February 15th.
Yes. So you ended up phoning me, and then I have to come clean and tell him what I'm planning to do. And you can imagine he's not really happy with me.
No, I think I gave you heck that day.
Yep. So now we're in my journal at February 16th. And I've said, okay, so I've decided to work on the last of my issues. Now, I found that funny when I wrote last, and I even put it in capital letters.
Last.
If I'd only known how many more issues I still had to work on. Not that I'm like issue free now. I mean, let's be real. If we're in a human body, we still have stuff to work on. We're always working.
And then, as soon as you get something worked on, you go try something new, and that brings up something new.
Good point.
It never seems to end. There's things to work on, but then again, nearly everybody in the world, unless they have everything perfectly figured out, there's an issue or two to work on.
There's always something to work on.
So, just those of us that seem to be on routes of high spirituality, twin flameism, we just seem to bring them up more because we're doing more work than most, I'm going to call average people.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it was funny that I'm working on the last of my issues.
Don't think it works that way.
No. So then I wrote suicide. When something goes wrong, I always think of killing myself. And I've been there lots lately, to the point that I even wrote a note. Never done that before. So I called the suicide crisis line yesterday, and I'm going to see someone tomorrow. It's time for me to deal with the suicidal tendencies once and for all. I'm also going to social services tomorrow to see about getting money for rent. I have to pay by Thursday or I'm out. So no more waiting on God. In other words, gave up that route. I've got to get my butt in gear and get this done. No more suicidal thoughts at this time. Let's get over it and get on with life. My friend Vic and I has been with me since early this morning. She's been with me through the tears, the shakes, the anger, all of it. She's been staying with me and distracting me, helping me stay focused on living. Big help. The panic and fear won't stop. I just keep reminding myself of all the other things I've worried about and all the things I've gotten through. I'll get through this somehow. So I'm talking myself through things. I'm trying to dig deep and find some positive because I'm accepting that suicide's not the answer. As much as it was my plan, it's just not the answer. So I was saying I have to quit depending on others and being codependent. I will learn how to be stronger in myself. I also called Rob yesterday. He asked me not to talk to him until I got it straight that I was living or dying. Ouch.
Yes, I don't think I was very kind to you that day.
Nope.
Don't call me again until you get it straight.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to deal with this. This is part of the reason why I let her go, is not necessarily because of suicide, but was because of just the lack of direction, the lack of having anything pulled together.
Yeah. I was a mess.
A mess, a train wreck. She was all of the above, just depending upon whatever cliche you want to use.
Yep. I didn't have it together in any area of my life.
But a very nice mess and train wreck.
Aw, thank you. So I said he couldn't stand the up and down of it all, wondering if I'm dead or alive. I understood his point of view and was very proud of him, actually, for finally setting some boundaries and putting himself first. So I called him yesterday morning and told him that I called the suicide crisis line and have finally decided to deal with my suicide tendencies once and for all. Poor Rob. He's exhausted with all that him and I have gone through. Boy, do I understand that one well. I'm there too, exhausted, fed up, and sick of the pain and struggle. So we were both just had enough. But it's not like life really cares if you've had enough sometimes. It just keeps throwing it at you. So then I said, I still see Rob and I getting back together someday, but right now I think both of us need to focus our energies on ourselves. I'm sure impressed with him. He's been doing that. He spent the weekend in seclusion and just took care of himself and his needs, which for Rob back then, that was a big step forward. That was quite impressive.
By the way, don't Google seclusion. You won't find it on the map. Okay. I had to do that. Sorry.
You're funny. This is now February 21st. I said it's weird. I could feel my angels communicating with me as I slept. They woke me up at some point when the song Trust Me, This Is Love. This is the Amanda Marshall song that has been chasing Rob and I.
All over.
Yep. So now the angels are waking me up with this song. I was half asleep through the whole nap, and it's hard to explain, but I could feel the angels were around me communicating with my soul. Why I chose to read that little piece is because I truly believe that angels are with us and guide us when we're at our hardest, most struggling times. You know that poem, The Footprints? It's so true. When we feel like there's nobody there and we're all out of hope, they are there carrying us. Whether it's God, angels, whatever we believe in, we do have help from the other side. And I had help when I was planning, very literally, to commit suicide. They were the ones that were there guiding me and giving me another direction. So this is now February 25th, and I said I've decided to call Rob and leave a message. I'm not sure why. My instincts just told me to. I called around 9 p.m. and left a message saying that I got his message. So he had called me, and I was now finally returning his call. We were still doing this, sort of calling each other, sort of trying to stay away from each other, but it wasn't working. So then I wrote about an hour later, he called me back. I guess he went to work for a bit, but felt too sick, so he came home. So, of course, the stress is now getting to him, too. Rob called back and said he was bored and wondered if I wanted to come over to watch movies. Oh, great. So
Here we go. Watching movies.
Yeah, you know what that leads to.
Hi. Welcome to romance. Oh, sorry.
You're funny. I was hoping he'd call, so I went to his place and we watched movies.
See, she was hoping I'd call.
I know that. See, this is why this one's called the magnetic pull, because you try so hard. You try to be apart from them, like, go away, but they don't go away. And then even when they do away, you're like, come back. Oh, it's rough, as you all know. Where am I? Then, as usual, he got snuggly. So we snuggled on the floor for a while. That was nice. Finally, at 9 p.m., I came home. It was a nice night, nice to snuggle. It doesn't affect me negatively, though. Doesn't tear me apart or anything, which is good. I just like being close, but I don't want or need any more at this point. I'm quite content with our relationship at this point. This is good. Thank God. Finally, I'm like at a bit of an even keel. Rob, on the other hand, has trouble keeping his hands, his lips off of me. He was kissing my fingers, my nose, my cheeks, my stomach, my back, etc. It's nice to be desired. I, however, haven't the energy to be all that lovey at this point. No, I'm like stressed to the max. I'm trying to get my life stable. Oh, that's a nice little dust covering. Wow, that even showed the camera. That's cool.
Gee, we had a little snow blow by us.
We did so. Welcome to our snow wonderland.
Little gust of wind blowing snow off the top of the trees and off the branches. Of course, it's coming down in little clumps everywhere. Welcome to winter.
Yes, welcome to winter. Okay, now I have to find my next little bit. Oh, yeah, so here we go. Back to, Rob, no, not interested in him. God, back and forth. Last night I was sure Rob was not the one for me. And now I want and miss him. Do you want to do your little fun thing there or no?
Oh, we have a bleep.
My moods are so confusing and all over the place. It's so
bleeping
annoying. Like, pick a feeling and stay with it for more than 10 minutes. I wish I could. It would be nice to have one prominent feeling a day, not 10, ranging from happy to excited to teary to depressed to angry. I'm so sick of my moods being all over the place.
Bleep.
It's annoying, but hey, put burnout and depression together and what do you get? A very moody person. I'm stabilizing, though. I am. I'm trying to convince myself I am. I'm determined to somehow stabilize my emotions and my life. Anyhow, I think I'll go exercise now. Maybe that'll help. So you can see I'm trying. I'm trying to put my life back in order, but it's not that easy. And in the meantime, I got Rob thoughts back and forth. Nah, I don't really want to be with him. I don't see us together. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, I miss him. Oh, I'm not interested in Rob. Oh, I want to be with Rob. Oh, my God. No wonder you were like, go away. But come here. You were just as bad.
Yeah, I was too. I was thinking of Angie every day, probably twice a day. And it's just hard. You know, on a 3D level, you try to do the right thing, and on a 5D level, you can't forget. So all you do is you end up stressed. It is stressful.
It is.
Yes. You folks know that too.
Yeah. I cry lots, so at least I know I'm dealing with my emotions and not burying them. The tears don't feel like they'll ever stop. I hurt so much. I did make a decision with Rob last night. I need to take some time and space away from him so I can properly grieve. It's too hard seeing him, hugging him, and having him kiss me, and then try and accept that it's over. I can't be going back and forth between yes, we have a future together, and no, we don't. So I will not see or talk to him for at least a few weeks. Yes, good luck with that. I'm only prolonging the pain, grieving by seeing him. I'll spend this week crying and grieving, and then hopefully I can move on. So now we have to go into the next journal because we have 3 journals for this storyline, and poor Rob carried them all up because he's so dedicated. Now, I just want to actually show you something. This is my life lately. It's been a bit challenging reading old journals. Those little blue tabs are all that I'm sharing today, but then there's all these other little like paper clips. These are all future ones that I'm going to share because there's other stuff that's going on, but it gets too confusing if we sort of share it all at once. So I have little tabs all over the place in my journal.
Tabs and paper clips, and they're colored, and they have numbers on them,
they do.
Keeping in order.
Yes. It's confusing. So this is now March 25th. I'm saying happy birthday to Robert's dad. I dreamt of them last night.
Aye.
I dreamt that Rob was at his parents' place. And I called him and was having fun talking with him and his parents. In other words, of course, this man's still in my thoughts. It's not like just because I have not seen him that I'm not thinking about him. So I said, I think of him daily, but I am so thankful that I don't miss him horribly. Things are getting better. Hallelujah. There is progress. For this moment, anyway. Ooh. Then, yeah, I know. Thank God it actually shows up well. I've still got angels talking through me. I finally surrendered and kept them in my life, even though after the whole Valentine's Day thing, I swore that not only was my life over, but my life with them was over. We know how all that goes. We can decide on a human level that we're in control on this path, but let's be real. Our soul is so in control on this path. We gave up a lot of our free will before we came here when we agreed to do this as a twin flame. So, soul's in charge. So I wasn't accepting that yet, but I was learning. So anyway, I'm channeling an angel at this point, and he is talking about the fact that we're clearing lots. He's saying you have cleared so much, as has Robert. Your paths are merging closer and closer. So here we go again. Back to the angels telling us about merging paths and we have a future together. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to get on with my life. Would you leave the Robert stuff alone? Then a day later, I'm pulling angel cards, as I know a lot of you do, flipping through books. Okay, you don't.
A day later, by the way.
What?
A day later after March 25th is...
Oh, my birthday.
Right.
Oh,
her birthday.
That's why you gave me the funny look.
Yes, you're going a day later. I'm expecting the explanation, and nothing happened.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Actually, I didn't even register.
Okay, you can forget about your birthday. I don't dare forget about her birthday.
Not anymore. that day, let's be real though. I actually asked the angels for a miracle, and I was asking for you. And of course, that didn't happen. Well, it did. It did. Yay, it did, but not then. Yeah. So I'm down in an angel store and I'm pulling cards. This is what I did for my birthday, all alone. So I asked about Robert and I got the card merger. So how funny. Just the day before, an angel is channeling saying, your paths are merging. Then I get the angel card merger.
Who puts these cards together?
All sorts of people.
Yeah.
Doreen Virtue did a lot. That's whose card I probably pulled at that point. So then I put it back, asked, and got it again. Message? Sign? Yes.
Believable at that time?
Nope.
Not really.
Nope. Now we're at March 28th. I've been dreaming of Rob since the mastery class. Mastery class being Reiki. I was now taking my next level of Reiki. So this is why I have all these tabs, because I'm too confusing to explain about the Reiki stuff while I'm explaining about the Rob stuff. There's so many other dynamics going on that we're just keeping it simple. So I'm dreaming of Rob since taking the mastery class. Yesterday was strange. I've been thinking that if the Warren Remembrance movies that I ordered for him don't come in by April, I'm canceling them. Well, they were in yesterday. So I picked them up. I'm not sure how long I'll have them before I call Rob. I just trusting that I'll know when the time is right to start seeing him again. I'm starting to miss him. It'll be 4 weeks tomorrow since I've seen or talked to him. Did you want to address the Warren Remembrance stuff?
Yeah, Warren Remembrance was a mini series from, back in I think it was late 80s, 86, 87, 88, based upon a couple of books. And it was based upon a fictional family that had members that drifted out all over the globe during the Second World War. Sort of like a Forrest Gump kind of a deal, except it was a very, very serious.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. Because, these people would always show up at interesting spots in history. And it was a 40-hour, all-combined miniseries, which doesn't really make it all that mini. But it was one of my favorite things. I enjoyed the history. I enjoyed the story. It had lovey bits in it. It had serious war bits in it. And Angie had ordered this for me. And now it's come in.
Yes.
And now
we're not even together.
We're not even together now.
I had actually ordered this for him for Christmas, but it was really hard to find. And back then, there was no Amazon. This was back in the olden days when there was no internet really, and no Amazon.
So you had to order it using paper means and send off to some place, and hopefully they'd get your letter and send it.
So it took a long time to come in, and now it's when did they say it was? March or April that it's finally in? And we're not even speaking, so now I'm oh, great. What do I do with this? I don't really want to call him.
Yes, you do.
I do, but I don't. But I'm that pull, that magnet, damn magnet.
As soon as you finally get it figured out that you don't have to be in communication, something happens that gives you the urge to be back in communication.
Yes.
It's not just human failures.
Good point. So now I'm writing. I just finished a Celestian meditation. Wow, it was so powerful and it left me in tears. I was told again that my mission includes Robert, that things are okay and I don't have to worry about money or Rob or my mission. So, again, you try so hard to detach from your twin, to release them, to move on, and no. He was everywhere. He was in every Reiki session that I did with a client. I could get visions of him. He was showing up all over the place, and now he's showing up in a meditation, and I'm seeing our future together. So I wrote in my meditation, Rob was all ready and willing to take me and marry me and complete our mission, but I was the one resisting. I always thought it was him, but apparently it's me. That was a bit of an eye-opener. I see it now, of course. I was the one with all the problems. I had a hell of a lot of growing to do. Being away from Robert for a while, or for the last month, has really helped. Before I felt so torn between two worlds, but not being around him has helped me get more grounded and sure of where I want and what I need. I need to be awake in my spiritual walk. I don't feel so torn now. I feel more sure and more balanced of where I am and what I want. I've been thinking of calling Rob, though. We'll see. Not sure if I'll have much to say. I may need more time before I call. Not sure yet. So I read that because I know a lot of you struggle. I've even had some of you message me and go, should I call my twin? Should I text my twin? What should I do? I've been there. I've struggled with that too. Do I? Don't I? I don't know. It feels good, but it doesn't feel good. And frustrating. I'm just going to look at the date here so I can kind of see where we're at. Oh, it might be a bit too hard. Yeah, it's a couple pages back. Oh, March 30th. So we're kind of the end of March now.
End of March, early April.
Yes. So I'm getting images of Rob when I do Reiki, when I meditate, when I sleep, when I talk with you guys, the angels. Okay, I'm getting the message. So now can I get it brought into the physical? These visions all take me so far before I need some concrete evidence. Let's get on with it, folks. I lectured angels a lot, didn't I?
Yeah.
Little bossy boots with the angels. Now, while I'm finding my next one, I know people are going to ask because they usually want to know what was going on with you. So this, like 4 weeks when we weren't communicating,
Well,
where were you at?
I was actually in a couple of struggles. One was at work. Things were not going smoothly there, so I was sinking all of my time into that. Of course, still doing a little bit of exercise in the evenings when I could. But second of all, I was completely missing Angie. I also had, I don't know what word to use. I had another karmic relationship tugging at my shirt sleeve.
Yes.
So yes, so here I
She
was.
comes in the picture later. So.
She does, but nonetheless, she was there too. So here I've got a person who's wanting to maybe have a relationship with me. I'm still thinking of Angie. I'm finding this very stressful because I'm not one to play from week to week to week to week and go out and play the table of people. I was still thinking of Angie too much, so I was being guilt-ridden. I was just not really doing well. It was very stressful. I didn't know what to do. Angie was still just a few floors, well, many, 20 floors, whatever, 25 floors below me, and it was just hard on me. I was really stressed between work and I'll call them, at that time, relationship issues. Yes. So I was too trying to see whether or not there was any clear path for me. This would have been the time of year I would have been going back out to the mountains again. Winter would be done. Not that we're not out in the mountains in winter right now, but it's a lot different when you can stop and take it easy without having to worry about freezing to death.
True.
But yeah, I was stressed. I was really stressed. I was not feeling good about where my life was.
And yet what I find so amazing is you respected my wishes. I asked not to speak to you, and you managed to pull it together.
It's one thing when you let yourself down by going, I don't want to see someone, and then you let yourself down. But when somebody else has asked you for space, well, I find it easier to honor someone else's request than to honor my own request. Especially back at that time in my life. I'm a little bit better at it both ways now, but back then, no, I was just sticking to what Angie had asked for, and I knew that she needed to do a lot of work, and I was hoping that she was getting along okay in life without having me being around as a distraction. I knew that wasn't the best thing for her, was to keep her in this push-pull by just letting it happen between us, whoever pushed, whoever happened to pull.
Now, we don't remember, I haven't found it in my journals yet, so I don't think it happened here, but maybe it did. There was one point where we had agreed not to speak, and we couldn't stop communicating, so we actually started writing notes and putting them under
the doors. We did that. We had notes. We would pop a note. Hi, hope everything's going okay. You don't need to call. Bye. Run away. Get on the elevator. Run up the stairs. Whatever.
I don't know if this happened in this time period or if it's another one in the future. So I've just kind of gave you a clue that this is going to happen again.
But based upon what we do know about ourselves, it was probably right in this time period.
I'm guessing. And this is where in our last video I was mentioning that I was sad of the things that I got rid of Rob's. One was one of those notes. And it was somewhere in my future journals. I do remember reading about it. So it'll come up eventually. But he said something to the point of, please pray that we can be together someday. Oh, does that not like melt your heart? Yeah. So he obviously was hurting too.
Yes.
When I find that in my journals, I will be sure to read it to you guys. Even though I don't have the note, I at least have what he wrote in my... Are you pointing out snowdrops to me?
Time.
Oh, okay. Get on with it? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Okay, I'll get on with it. This is now April 1st, April Fool's Day in 1998. Well, I did it. I called Robert and left a message. I was like freaked out. Do I do it? Oh, do I not? I don't know if it was the right thing to do or not, but who cares? It's done. In other words, thank God I got it off. Like this has been going on for weeks now. Do I call him? Do I not? Finally, called him. Okay, now I can relax. It's all in his ball court. If he calls back, who cares? If he doesn't, who cares? At least I did what I felt I had to do. By the way, just a note on that. Again, like a lot of you will ask me, well, should I, shouldn't I? the answer is always go within. And I know that may sound like harping. I know it might be like, oh my God, I need something better than that. But much like I had to do in my own stuff, it's when you feel, whatever you feel within, that's what you go with. Like I had written in my journals, I feel like I need to phone him. Well, then do it. So it's all about going within. It's not about looking to somebody else going, well, should I or shouldn't I? Because somebody else doesn't have the answers. They don't know your journey. You know your journey. You know your twin because you're connected to them. Do you have to add on that?
No.
Okay. So later, this is now April 3rd. I said, okay, so I talked with Robert last night. Not a lot seems to have changed with him. Frustrating, I tell you. He called at 8:30 or so last night, and we talked till 10 p.m. A very serious, cold kind of talk. Then 5 minutes later, he calls back to ask about his videos. His mood was very different. He was playful and not so serious. I guess whatever happens, happens. So you can imagine, I'm confused as hell. We have an hour-and-a-half long talk, and it's all cold, it's distant, there's no connection.
I'm probably just doing my bit of making sure that I don't do any leading on. We talk about real stuff and just keep it at that. Yes.
In other words, that's fair. The walls were up big time.
Sure.
Hearts closed, walls up.
Yep. Why would I want to reopen my heart to something that's already been hurting me already and then I'm trying to do my own recovery from?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this is now April 7th. I said, I felt hopeful after talking with Rob last night. First of all, he calls right when he gets home. So now he's calling more often again. He calls right when he gets home from work. He called at 7 p.m. last night. He had just gotten home and hadn't even worked out. So he went to work out while I did Reiki, and then I went up to watch Worn Remembrance. Great.
You were starting to watch these videos.
Yes.
It's VHS tapes, and there's tape after tape after tape. You can stack these tapes 1.5 feet high.
We were actually going to, if we did this video at home, I had pulled them out and we were going to show you one, but we weren't going to drag a videotape.
I wasn't going to drag a VHS way out here.
But Rob still has all of them from way back then.
And they still work.
Yes. So you can imagine, now we're watching this video series together. Just lovely. So we're back to square one all over again. So I was saying, he was telling me about work. It's absolutely horrendous. He is wondering how he's going to make it through. So he's struggling now and not doing well. He's got stuff going on.
And this Angie bit is not helping. It's just keeping confusion in my life.
Yeah. All right, our last piece from our third journal now. This is April 11th now. I wrote, Rob is so funny. He called at about 8:30 or so last night to see if I saw the sunset. It was very pretty.
We used to get beautiful sunsets from there.
Yes.
Out over top of the valley with little margins of mountains in the distance. Yes.
Yeah, we loved our apartment. I wrote, funny. I was just looking at it and commenting to my friend about it before he called. Anyhow, we talked for a while and then he had to go because he had to be up early to go skiing tomorrow. 5 minutes later, he calls again. He's talking to me as he's brushing his teeth. I don't think it's just wishful thinking. The man is still in love with me. That's great and nice and all, but things, big things, will have to change first. What I was thinking needed to change is that I was on this spiritual path of understanding that we had a mission and that we were supposed to spread love, whatever that meant at that point. I didn't even understand. But Rob wasn't there at all. He was very 3D. He was very much into work and working out and climbing mountains. We were still very far apart in our abilities to connect on a lot of levels.
I may have come across as being very 3D, but I was still on my own journey. And my journey was, if you wanted to describe it in levels, yeah, sure, I was a long way behind Angie. I think a lot of things that I was doing was pretty good for me, fairly advanced, keeping moving forward, but I was so far behind that I don't know if Angie really could see that I was going through my own bits and pieces of growth too. Then again, my growth was, and always has been, usually very slow, and never deliberate. I never really have a clue when my growth has been hitting me. I just have a chance to look over my shoulder year to year and go, wow, things have changed. But Yeah, she was not seeing that I too
No.
was making progress.
No.
Right.
And reality is we were both a long ways away. It's not like I was more
Oh.
advanced than him or him me. We were both really far away. So it was confusing when you have this deep love for each other and this magnetic pull to each other that just won't leave you alone. But you know it's not time. You can see it's not time. You can feel it's not time.
So you just let it ride. Just got to keep letting it ride.
Yeah, it was a challenging place to be in of the love wouldn't leave us alone, but we could clearly see that it wasn't our time to be together. It was very confusing. So I think that wraps up this bit of the story. Next time it's Rob's turn to go through some rough patches in the story.
Yeah. Next time you'll hear a little bit more from me. I'm coming up to a time in my life that I really don't believe happened to me.
Yeah.
But it did.
Yeah. We all go through the rough patches. Even if you think your twins got the la-di-da life, when you're doing all the work, they're doing their own work in their own way.
Yes. So anyway, from beautiful another portion of Kananaskis country, Hogarth Lakes area.
We bid you goodbye.
This is a goodbye.
Yes.
Have a good one.
And remember, I'm going to say it because I didn't say it last time. To connect with your twin, always go within. That is the key. Bye, guys.
Bye.